Hi folks, in this video I'm going to be changing the dashboard illumination lights in this Mark III Mondeo 2000 to 2007 model. Okay folks, the situation what we've got with this Mondeo is that when you turn the lights on at night, obviously the dashboard illuminates up, but some of them there are little sort of dark spots. In other words, there's about 6 or 7 bulbs I think behind here which illuminate the dashboard when you turn your lights on, and they give this nice green glow, and in places there's a few shadows and dark spots where you can't actually see the figures. So that involves taking the actual dash out, removing some of these panels. I gather I've not done this job before myself, so this is a first for me, and actually getting the console out and changing the actual bulbs on the back. Now, because I'm going this far and taking it out, I understand that the bulbs apparently that are in here are white, so I think there must be some sort of green sort of filter that gives us just a green glow. Well, I've actually brought some blue LEDs to go in place of the actual bulbs that was already in here, and I've got a complete set, so I'm going to see how they go in and whether or not there's something else I have to do once I get the console out to make the blue lights shine through. So let's start stripping this thing down, and we're going to start first of all by basically just removing this little parcel compartment here, and all you do is pull the lever down, squeeze the sides in. Right, so as you can probably see here, now I've pulled these forward, you've got these two little things that stick out, and you have to really press them in, and then that will bring this down like that, and then it just flops out. So that's that out of the way. And now I'm under the impression that we've got to remove a few screws around the base here. There's 2 Phillips screws there, and you've also got 3 screws along the bottom there. That just removes this cowling, and then that makes the screws that put this top bit of panel on visible just under here somewhere. So let me take these Phillips screws out now. Right, okay, that's them 5 screws out. Now apparently up here somewhere there's like a push fit thing, so you have to sort of pull it high up, pull it away and out, and that should relieve. There we go, it's just come out now. And then behind here, if you can see, just hanging here is the air sensor, the internal air sensor. So we just unclip that. There's a clip at the back of it that holds it in and just pulls it up. Now while you've got this off, you might as well give this a little hoover out and a clean as well, just to make sure it's okay. This one's pretty dirty, so I'm going to be doing that as well. As you can see now, that's exposed a screw here on this side, and moving over to the other side of the steering wheel, we've exposed a screw here on that side, which are both Phillips screws, which lifts up the bottom part of this cowling there. So I'm just going to undo them now, and just for the sake of it, I'm going to drop this steering wheel down, I think, just to give me a bit more access. There's a little lever underneath here which you can do that, so I've just pulled that down a bit now. Right, now if you can see what I've done there, I've just literally put a screwdriver under the top there and just levered it, and that's freed off this top. Right, I think I'm going to take out the bottom 3 screws to the bottom cowling. So those I think are Torx bits. Right, yep. So let's just undo these Torx bits that hold the bottom of the actual steering cowling on. And then you just sort of pop this casing apart, and then we can release that top casing, as you can see. So by undoing these bottom screws here, I'm able to just pop this out. So as you can see here, basically all I've done was sort of prise the screwdriver in there, and this top bit just pops apart, and that's come right forward now. Some clips on the back there, as you can see there. So I'm just going to push them out and remove this. Right, so just pop this out of there. Now they just pop out. One more. There we go. That's that out of the way. There's another couple of Phillips screws. There's one there, and there's one down in there that hopefully will remove this off. Right, so I've got to get a screwdriver in there, which again is a Phillips screwdriver, and undo them 2 screws there. A little bit awkward by the looks of it, especially to get back in, I would have thought. Right, well, I've managed to pull that screw out there. That's what you're looking at anyway. It's got quite a long thread on it. And you'd probably benefit if you could get this bottom cowling out of the way. But as I say, I've left it on. So that's probably what's making it more difficult. But to do that, you're going to have to get this thing off. If you've got a stalk indicator there. So I've not done that. I've left it on. So I'm just going to get the other screw out the other side, which is deep in there. And I'll come back to you in a second. What I found is quite easy with this one this side. You can get your fingers down in there and your hand up from underneath, and you can actually rotate the head without the need of a screwdriver once you've got it undone. I don't think you'll find that they'll be very tight, these screws anyway. So this is definitely easier to do it this way. There you go, I've just got that one out, a piece of cake. Now hopefully that should be all that's holding this in. Oh, there we go. So all I've done there is literally hold it all and pull towards you, and then it lifts out. And as you can probably see there, there's two holes in there, and there's two lugs that go in there like that. And for those of you that want to see this, that's the inner two screws. There's the outer two screws, the ones on the dashboard front, which is easy. And just slightly below, above them, further back are the other two screws. So that's what you need to get out. And this is now what we're left with on the binnacle to pull the binnacle forward. There's two more Phillips screws there, and then I should be able to bring this straight forward. So I'm just going to do them two screws and get the dashboard out. And there's two. And also, I'm 21 pence richer. Right, put that there. And hopefully, as I say, I put a screwdriver under the top edge there. Just lever that forward, and that gets your fingers behind it. I should be able to bring it forward then, like that. Yep. And on the back, which has a clip on it, just lever that up maybe. There you go. Pull it up, and that pushes the connector out. There's the connector, one multi-pin connector, and out comes the complete binnacle. Here we go. So let's take this inside now, put this on the worktop, and we'll see what bulbs need changing. Right, here we go. Here's the back side of the clock module now on the worktop, and by what I can see, there's some central bulbs there. Those are warning light bulbs, I would imagine. And we've also got 1, 2, 3, 4 big bulbs and 2 smaller bulbs there. So if I turn the console over, the 2 smaller bulbs appear to be, them two there, appear to be in line with these LED panels there. The 4 big bulbs around the outside, I would suggest they are the actual ones which give us our glow. And the ones in the centre there appear to be central controls there. So what I'm going to do is take out the 4 big bulbs first. Now if they're a little bit tight, just get a pair of pliers and give them half a turn and they will come out. Now as you can see, these bulbs are actually clear, and these are the type of bulbs that you pull out of the holder. So that's the two, that's the biggest bulbs there, so that's one. I'm going to take all 4 of them big ones out. That one looks okay. This one, I suspect, could be the blown one, and yes, it is, because it's a central light, and as you can see there, it looks like it's blown. So that's number 2 bulb. Number 3 is okay, which I thought was okay, and number 4 is also okay, as you can see there. Now, they're the 4 big bulbs. Move that to one side for a minute. Now these are what I've actually brought off of eBay, and they come as a set. So if I just empty these out and show you, what you're given is 4 big LEDs, and you're given 2 little small ones. Now I'm of the opinion that the 4 big ones obviously are to go into these 4 holders here, and I would suggest that the 2 small ones that I've been sent would go into these 2 holders here. So that's what I'm going to change. And as I say, what you have to remember as well with these LEDs, an LED is a one only way connection. So if you put them in and they don't work, you have to turn them around the other way in the holder because they only work in one direction. So I'm just going to put these in anyway. They're not marked in any way that I can see. So I'm not going to sort of put my hands all over the rest of the bulbs. I'm just going to push them in so they make a connection into the actual LED holder. So that's how it goes, like that. You can probably see that. So I'm going to do that with all 4 big bulbs. Pull the actual bulbs out and push the LED back in its place. You'll just put these in the holders and sort of turn them around until they sort of slot into the grooves. Once they're in, when you feel a bit of resistance, just give them a little tweak and they should click into place. And that's gone in place. Right, so that's them 4 in. Now I'm going to remove these little 2 now at the bottom, and again do exactly the same thing. Take them out like that and then replace them same way as the other ones. Right, so obviously I can't test this on here. I'm going to have to put this back in into situ. I haven't got to plug everything back in and put everything right back in. All I'm going to have to do is put this plug on. I'll turn the lights on and see what we've got. So let's go and do that now. Push the connector in. I'm pushing that clip back on as well. Right, so that's everything back in now. So let's put the keys in the ignition. Now again, I can see we've got panel lights, but I can't see how clear, in other words, whether they're all in the right way. I can see blue lights, so you really need to get dark, and I might have to get a cover over the top here just to blank everything out, and that's what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to go and get a jacket or something. Right, we're underneath now. Try to block as much of the light out as I can. Now I'm going to turn the lights on. Right, we've got blue lights. Can you see? That one's nice and bright. This neon here isn't coming on. That's that bottom neon, so I've got to change that. And we've also got a dark spot around the top of the rev counter, so that's one of the big ones, or maybe even 2 of them. So I'm going to have to change them around and all. So that's what I'm going to do now. Well, that's all the bulbs in now. They're all working now. Very difficult to see in the daylight, I must say, but I don't think they're as bright as what I expected them to be, but there may have to be something else that we have to do to the clocks with regards to taking the actual clocks apart. So I'm going to put this lot together now and finish the job off. I'll show you a bit later on tonight when it's dark and you can see the effect and if it's worth doing anything else to these. So I'll see you again a bit later. Right, it's evening now and we're going outside to look at what we're looking at, baby.
Dashboard.
The dashboard. We're going to see if the blue lights are as effective as they said they was when we bought them. Let's go and have a look. That's the ignition on, so that's as normal. Now get ready. I'm going to turn the lights on. Was that it? Why is there one still green over here? That's not very good, is it?
No, I'm a bit upset with that.
I was expecting a lovely blue dashboard. Look, it's sort of blue down the bottom here, and up at this side it's green still, look. Well, I'm not very pleased with that. And you can't even see the numbers down here. Look, it's got the blue ring around it.
Speeding.
Well, baby,
Not happy.
we're not impressed with that, are we? So there you go. If you want to change the colour of your Mondeo's original green lights on the dashboard,
Should have gone red.
and no, it'd be the same, wouldn't it? That's not those blue lights. When you see them, a light, they're really, really bright. But there's something in the clock binnacle. Someone goes on YouTube and on eBay, sees the advert for, oh, you can have different coloured lights, and they don't realise what they're going to look like when they're in. Well, you've just seen that now. So if you're thinking of doing this modification,
Don't.
no, you could do it, but there's a bit more to it than just this.
Yeah.
I would imagine you'd have to take the clocks apart, which I haven't done yet, and I don't know whether I'm going to do it with this. I might buy a second-hand set of clocks for about 15 quid and just take them apart and then see what we can do with them to make them brighter. But that, just putting the bulbs in, a different colour bulb, won't give you a vastly improved display. And in places, as I said, there's a few funny things going on where part of it's still green, so there must be some sort of green reflectors in there, which may need either taking out or replacing with clear ones. I don't know until I have a look. So
I'll have a look on YouTube.
I've looked on YouTube. There's one bloke who's taken them all apart, and he's scraped the back of the actual dials, and to me that doesn't look like a proper job. So I'll only know when I take it apart fully, but to find out exactly what the best solution is to get different coloured bulbs in your display. So anyway, that's that. So I hope that's been a bit informative to you. If you do, or you were thinking of changing the colours of your dashboard lights, that's what you're going to come up against, and that's what it's going to look like. That's all we've got illuminated. And to be honest with you, you can't actually see the clock properly, can you? You can't see the speedo properly. I suppose you can see the rev counter, but it's not really clear and it's not really properly illuminated. I can get that a lot brighter, I'm sure I can. Anyway, thanks for now. Speak to you again in the next video. We call this part 1 anyway. Say bye, baby.
Bye, baby.
Bye, baby. See you later in part 2.